This episode of the Far End of the Bench with Jimmy Pilato and Nico Bryant is presented by mybookie.ag. Sign up today and use promo code BENCH, BENCH, to double your first deposit automatically. Get in on the winnings today. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Nico, I wanted to start with the NFL, so let's go ahead and just continue on with what you said in your center of attention. Tap out Teddy. Teddy, no effort. What's the new name? What's the new name that we're calling him nowadays? Is it Teddy Business Decision? What should the name be now?
It's Teddy too long gone because he's not going to be on this franchise anymore. Because first of all, Teddy had a good game. Let's not put that on. He played pretty decently, but that type of effort is a performance on the coaches. That type of effort is sets the tone. Because look, good teams, you had effort. It's not even a question of making that tackle. It's not. It's a fucking culture problem. It's the Italian mafia standard. Everyone's like, "Oh, Fangio's mafia, blah blah blah." Motherfucker is the furthest thing from mafia and business handle than I've ever seen. Because this team look, it's one thing to have that performance against Dallas last week. It's another thing to come at home and place a team that is far less talented at home and put up that shit of a performance. It's a disgrace to that fucking logo. There's pride wearing the D on the side of your helmet. There's pride of wearing those colors. Look at what fucking Elway did. Look what Peyton did. There's pride. There's no pride in this team. There's zero. And it starts with the fucking coaching staff that doesn't have pride in fucking wearing those colors. And there's a reason why guys like Draymond Jones, who's played his ass off this year, came out and said, well, it's a performance on the defense, but also the coaching staff. You don't ever see that from players. You don't. And he came back out and said, well, that's not true. I didn't mean it that way. Yes, he fucking did.
Well, I mean, if you go back and look at Fangio's press conference after the Dallas game, and he throws in a lot of subliminal hints, like, you guys should pat me on the back. We did this thing. I started taking – first off, he said going into the Dallas game, I've taken a much more hands-on approach with the offense and special teams, because everybody knows I'm a defensive coach, but I've started paying attention to the offense and special teams. You've been the head coach for 3 years. You've been the head coach for 3 years, so you should have been paying attention this whole time.
If you said that after the Dallas game, then what explains the performance this week? Because that's a hands-on performance.
Shermer's not even going to be the scapegoat.
I know, and that's a hands-on performance with that shit performance from special teams. And then also the offense, that's what you have into the saying.
And your defense doesn't know that Jalen Hurts is going to run a read option and keep the ball.
I am so done with the season. I am waiting on the 49ers to fire Kyle Shanahan for this team, I know they're beating the Rams. I'm waiting for that to happen for me to have interest back in the Broncos, because the second Shanahan's fired, Fangio should be out the door next, and there should be no hiring process. I don't give a fuck about the rules. There should be one name on the list. You fucking go there, because you got to bring a fucking attitude to this. You gotta have a reason to wear the D and have that fucking logo. And this coaching staff doesn't have a fucking clue of what it means to wear those colors.
Is there any chance that he gets fired before the end of the season? It's bye week now, so if it would be logical to get fired now, but
if it is, it's this week. If not, we're going to be sticking through the season.
I really don't think that they are. That's the other thing this week, because they're honestly, if you look at it just numbers wise, they're still right in the mix for the playoffs. I know that they're not going to do that because they're going to probably get wrecked by half the rest of their schedule. I'm not – honestly, the main thing that I took out of this week for the Broncos is when we go to the game in December, I have absolutely no clue what to expect, because your team could show up and blow me out by 45. We could show up, blow the Broncos out by 45. Maybe it's a close game and we end up having a good time, but that's like –
I'll tell you right now, it won't be a good time, because I'll be wishing my ass is sitting at Pepsi Center. Because every time I fucking go to a Broncos game, I might as well wear a fucking bag over my head. Because even though we're 500, this is the biggest joke of a fucking franchise I've ever seen this team beat. Because this is the worst – I've said it – this is the worst coached Broncos team in history. I count Josh McDaniels, count all those fucking shit. This Broncos team hasn't lost 4 straight home games since 1960-something. And you lose by – it wasn't like it was close. It wasn't – we got blown out by our fucking by a team that has no right even contending in their division. In the worst division of football, let alone.
You got outcoached by Nick Sirianni. That's all I got to say for Vic Fangio. When you get outcoached by Nick Sirianni like that, it's not a good sign. The Broncos ended up losing to the Eagles 30-13.
It was also, for reference, it was 20-13 when Teddy Bridgewater had that business decision to let Darius Slay walk all the way in the end zone.
That was
one possession.
It was, and it really, I think you gotta tip your cap to Hurts and Devontae Smith because those two guys had great games.
Devontae Smith, I'm glad I started him in fantasy football and I had all these other injuries because the motherfucker kept me in my fantasy football game. I lost, but at least he made it interesting for me.
That was a fun matchup to watch with him and Surtain. And honestly, on that touchdown that he caught on Surtain, it's gonna be brought up again. But my dad and I were talking about it watching the game. That wasn't a bad, that was really good coverage. It was such good coverage that Surtain knocked the ball into Devontae Smith's hands for the touchdown. But the Eagles, give the Eagles credit because they were ready to play, and the Broncos obviously were not. They were expecting a different team to come in here. By the way, I didn't get to mention this last week going into the game. The winner of the Eagles Broncos, the last 2 times that they've played, have gone to the Super Bowl.
I guarantee you that's not happening this time, but
the winner had gone on to the Super Bowl. So maybe now it's the time the Eagles are going to finish 11-6.
They're going to
be like a 4 seed.
We're going to need a lot more to happen for that to happen.